So hey folks, welcome back to the channel, and on today's video we're actually out on the brand new Super Meteor 650 from Royal Enfield. Now we've got this bike for a couple of weeks, so this is the first initial ride. I've ridden about 40 minutes up into the South Lakes just to create this video and get a first ride impression. So that's all this is really, a first impression to tell you what I think about this bike, and then in a couple of weeks time we're going to do a last ride and final thoughts, so stay tuned for that. Now, Royal Enfield have really upped their game on this bike. I think this is the best quality machined, put together motorcycle that Royal Enfield make today. And I also see that flowing through into the Interceptor 650, which I rode a couple of weeks ago. There's a video in the back catalogue of that. And that also takes some of the updates from this motorcycle over to the Interceptor 650. So it's great to see the quality of the bikes coming on, and really good value. Now this motorcycle comes in 7 different colors, this being the Interstellar Grey, and beautiful paintwork on the tank. Comes in the grey and black with the nice chrome Royal Enfield badges on the side. And the price of this motorcycle is fantastic, real value for money, £6,999. Now 3 of the colours are of that price, and then there's some other colours in the range. Check on their website, I'll just pop them up on screen just now, and you've got a slight price increase on some of the other colours. Being a cruiser, the seat position and the forward foot controls are quite comfortable. Obviously time will tell as I'm riding this motorcycle how comfy it is. I think from the initial motorway trip that I came up on just now, 65 to 70 miles an hour, you do get quite a pull on your arms as the wind pressure hits the top of your chest and your shoulders. So if you were going to do a lot of touring on this motorcycle, I would recommend putting a screen on the front. Now the wheelbase, being a cruiser, is 1500 millimeters long, so it is quite a long bike. And also the weight of this motorcycle is 241 kilograms. So it's no lightweight, just moving it around the drive, a little bit heavy, but once you get those wheels turning, it's absolutely beautiful. And the handling of this motorcycle is good as well. You've got good ground clearance from the forward foot controls and the pegs, so no scraping yet. But we are on cold, damp winter roads, so yeah, I won't be leaning this bike over too far, not today anyway. Now the fuel capacity of this tank, this is a 15.7 litre tank, and you're probably getting between anything from 60 to 65 miles per gallon. Now as for competition and rivals of this motorcycle, obviously you've got things like the Kawasaki Vulcan 650, and that motorcycle, being a cruiser as well, is very similar in styling. There's not much competition out there for around the 650cc cruiser range, so the Vulcan would be one that comes to mind instantly. And the Vulcan price is £7,229, so about £300 more than the Interstellar Colour 650 that we've got here today. Now the seating position on this motorcycle, as I mentioned, you've got the forward controls. It is a really comfy seating position. I'm 6'2" tall, and I've got an inside seam of 32 inches. So leg position, really comfortable. Like I say, if you're on the motorway doing high speeds, you're going to get some wind blast with it being a naked bike at the front. And yeah, if you're going to do touring, I would definitely put that screen on. Okay, so the engine on the motorcycle, let's just take a look at that. Absolutely beautiful parallel twin. You've got these swept back chrome exhaust pipes, which really sound nice. I'll give you a sound check shortly. But yeah, I just think the overall fit and finish of this motorcycle is absolutely superb. Now the forks on the bike are non-adjustable. These are Showa 43mm upside down forks. You've got the Byberry brakes on there, and you've got 320mm disc on the front. Now Byberry is by Brembo, and then you've got on the back again Byberry with a 300mm disc on the back. The tyres on this bike are actually made by Seat, C-E-A-T, and these are an Indian brand. You've got a 150 on the back and then a 100 profile on the front. The engine is oil cooled and air cooled, and then as I mentioned on the Interceptor 650 you've got the new style headlight on this motorcycle, which really looks nice. The seat, as I mentioned, is quite sculpted. You can just see that there. But what impresses me about this motorcycle is metal mudguards on the back and also on the front of the motorcycle. So that really impresses me, because on my Triumph Bonneville I have plastic mudguard on the front and the rear. So I think the metal ones really are an impressive thing, especially for the money of this motorcycle. Now I mentioned the front suspension. You've also got twin shocks on the back, and these have preload adjustment only. The back of the motorcycle, you've got a single light and brake light, and then you've got the indicators, which are bulb and not LED. The tank on the motorcycle, as I mentioned, 15.7 litres, but you've got this beautiful black and silver paint scheme. And then the controls on the motorcycle, you've got nice aluminium controls both sides, and then you've got your forks as well. The bars on this bike, by the way, are not as swept back as, say, something like the Speedmaster from Triumph, so I much prefer these bars. But clocks on the bike, you've got a single speedometer, miles per hour around the top. You've got a LCD display in the middle which shows your fuel. It also shows the odometer. You've got trip 1, trip 2, gear position, which is good, and time. And then you've got the tripper, which is a navigation module just on the right, just there. There's no tachometer on this motorcycle. I don't think it needs it. Very simple. Got ABS, dual ABS on this motorcycle, and that's all the rider age you've got, which I think just complements it really. I think you can get too much electronics on bikes these days. So yeah, really impressed so far with the look of this bike. It's just beautiful to look at, and like I said, over something like the Kawasaki Vulcan S, I would prefer this one. Even things like the brackets on the headlights, just there, just absolutely beautifully finished off. So let's get back on the bike and go for a ride, and give you my first thoughts from riding this motorcycle. Okay, so let's do a sound check on this motorcycle. Let you hear that exhaust note, which is quite lovely. Now, one thing I will say is the clutch is really smooth. The gear changes with the linkages forward on the forward feet position is really smooth as well. Very direct. Throttle is really nice. Not jerky at low speeds, which is nice. And a lovely sound from that exhaust. Now the suspension on these bumpy British roads that we have over here is quite firm actually, compared to something like the Speedmaster from Triumph. and I actually prefer the firmer suspension on this than that bike. That was one of the only things I didn't gel with on the Triumph Speedmaster, was that the suspension was really soft. So yeah, nice Showa suspension, front and rear. As I mentioned, just rear adjustability on the preload, no adjustability on the front. I weigh 90 kilos, and the bike, yeah, feels alright. Now the mirrors, not showing too much of my elbows. Plenty of clear visibility behind, and no vibrations at speed. Very simple, just the single clock, and also the navigation module, which yeah, I think is really handy if you're doing some big trips on this bike. Then that connects to your mobile phone and gives you turn-by-turn navigation, which is good. I think on longer journeys, maybe if they did a comfort seat, that might help a little bit. After 40 miles of riding this morning, I noticed that the seat kind of sits you in one position, and there's not much movement that you can move around because it's sculpted. So I think, or I understand why cruisers, especially in America, get the Corbin or the other brand, I forget the name of it now, the comfort seats. But yeah, first initial impressions are really good on this motorcycle. Nice wide tank between your legs, and it looks the part, doesn't it? Through town, low speed, throttle position, everything is really good. So yeah, look forward to riding this motorcycle more over the next couple of weeks, and giving you my final verdict on this machine. But anyway, I'm going to head for a coffee. So thanks for tuning in, folks, and also if you're not a subscriber, don't forget to subscribe. But mainly, if all of you can give the video a big like, that would please me, and also please the YouTube algorithm. So thank you very much, and we'll catch you on another video next week. Ciao for now.